Yeah, bro. Hey, man, I'm gonna need you to fill me up another bottle, bro. That's just a trip. She asked me, hey, what you drinking? What am I drinking? What you mean? Shit, I'm sipping alkaline. Hey, alkaline. I'm sipping on that alkaline. Body feeling so divine, boy, I'm off that alkaline. Smoking on that pine, sipping alkaline, alkaline. Hey, I'm sipping alkaline, sipping on that fresh white tee, Nikes, and I sip clean flow. Me, who was he? Used to go by Black Bean. Grown man, be mad now. Switching lane, lunchtime, now I'm about to graze. Got my hair right, body on the same page. It's time to smoke up, medicate, then meditate. This is how I elevate. Second guess I do not do. Never risk something is that you got to. For where you was moving the stew. With the grapes, water got me feeling great. Swiftly move, I gotta do this. Stay the truest, I ain't gotta prove shit. Cantaloupe, I be chopping in the boat. These cookies got my eyes low. Just through parch, never alkaline. I'm sipping on that alkaline. Body feeling so divine, boy, I'm off that alkaline. Smoking on that pine, sipping alkaline, alkaline. Hey, I'm sipping alkaline, sipping on that
water, solar charge, sipping out a mason jar. Yeah. Alkaline, alchemist, vibing way too hard. Stay mindful of what go in my temple. The destruction of our melanin ain't accidental. No, it ain't. In the war, in the physical and astral, I'm a revolutionary like Fidel Castro. A warrior in the garden with some seeds planted. See me transition before you ever see me panic. Talk to my water like my brother or my mother say I love you. Watch it alter the molecular structure. Be mad in snow, Escalante elevation. You could witness pH balance. Don't check me, check your litmus.
What's up, party people, to another episode of Who Asked You podcast. I am your host, Duty 2 Groovy, and today we have a very, very, very special guest. Somebody I consider my brother, you know what I'm saying, part of my tribe, you know, but I'm going to let him introduce himself because only he can introduce himself the best, okay? So I want everybody to meet KENSHON. What's up, man? How you doing today?
How y'all doing, family? Thank you for welcoming me on your platform, and I truly appreciate that. I feel very fortunate to be here, and tonight we're gonna get it in because I think one of the things about knowledge is that it is probably gonna hurt, but after it hurts, then you know what to do with it. You apply it,
Yes.
and so a little bit about me. I'm from the Bahamas, and I love my home, and I know all of my Caribbean family who live in the States now out there. Much love to y'all. You know, I'm still here holding it down for y'all. So I my occupation, I love doing what I do. Right now, I have clients where I do a little estate management. So that's what I do. That's how I take care of everything
Okay.
like that. Currently, I am teaching. So I'm teaching cryptocurrency in private groups. And I'm also teaching how do you make money off a phenomenon like cryptocurrency.
Right.
How do you get the benefits or how do you get authenticity versus a bank or a government system in cryptocurrency, and also monetary sovereignty. So
Right.
you owning your own bank again, and then creating an official currency, or just profiting in the network effects off of this new phenomenon. So that's what I'm
So,
teaching.
so can we talk a little bit about blockchain? Because as people who may or may not know, the ballot company Dominion used the blockchain method to steal votes in their system. So can you kind of talk a little bit about what blockchain is?
Well, in terms of the last election, and that's a great point you brought up. In terms of the last election, what we know is fraudulent. And so I can jump right in into what is the technology of the blockchain and what does it bring to authenticity or transparency? Okay, let's just say, for instance, a million of these ballots were displaced. or they were put somewhere to be hid, or they were burned. Well, what we have in the blockchain system is once a transaction is made, or once a title has been made, it cannot be changed in the system. It cannot be redesigned. It cannot be edited. And so, what happened here in terms of the ballot destruction or displacement of votes is pure crime. It's a criminal act. And because of the watermark detached to each ballot or detached to an opportunity for a voter to vote, they tried to do whatever they wanted to do with these ballots, but the blockchain was able to recover these ballots through a watermark. And so what we have here is grand criminal activity here on parts of the Democrat. And so, um, in terms of cryptocurrency and authenticity and transparency, that's what I can tell you for a fact. That's what it brings to the criminals out there who want to be criminal.
Well, well, first I want to apologize because somebody called me.
That's okay, my brother.
Yeah, I thought I told everybody what I was doing, but I guess they weren't paying attention. But so you have a background in economics, but you also are very spiritual and knowledgeable about uh, astrology and things, right? You were introducing a concept to me uh, called solar biology. And from what I know, it incorporates a higher level of astrology and incorporates your natal chart and things of that nature. Would you like to expound on that knowledge, on that information?
Yes, and I'm very passionate about this subject because uh, I truly believe we're all connected from the mitochondrial Eve gene. And why that is important is because I found myself with a beautiful family in Kiska Valley, following young Pharaoh, because as it began for me in esoteric knowledge, I was following spirit science and other researchers of the such. And when I came across young Pharaoh, and particularly not only is astounding knowledge, but the booklets led me to other research, and other research led me to solar biology. And so that's what we're here to get into tonight. But I'm very appreciative of my family,
Yes.
which is the Kiska Valley group. And I'm very appreciative of the knowledge, particularly Young Pharaoh and Baba T allowing me to come on his platform. So much love, much respect to them. And so now here I am gaining this knowledge, which led me to return everything back to Egypt. And so now here I am in solar biology, which
Yeah.
is my research came from uh, Haram E. Butler. So
Okay.
that's Haram E. Butler. That's where my research is taking place. His book was published in 1921, and you can do research on it if you like. But
Yep. I'm putting his name in the chat so everybody can um, write that down if they choose to.
and so when we're talking about astrology, there's a Western way that we look at it in terms of okay, well, I got my sign together and everything, and normally the novice astrologer will probably look at just the sun sign or maybe the moon sign. But when we're talking about solar biology, what I'm first going to break down is what is solar. All right, so solar is your soul, and solar is connected to soul, and so solar. And now when we get into bio, bio meaning dual, bio meaning two, and then we get into biology. Biology, that means that in terms of the Earth hemisphere, or in terms of the Earth biosphere or the biofield. And
Right.
so there's a zero balance in there in terms of we download information from one thing into our DNA into the other. So that's where you get uh, the Earth biosphere, biology,
Mm-hmm.
Solar biology will be dealing with the soul, downloading. And so,
And can I add this? The solar system, the soul, the system of the soul,
yes,
how the planets affect us mentally, physically, and spiritually.
indeed,
Yeah, I wanted
indeed,
to put that added context. Uh,
indeed. And so, when I came across this, um, one of the things I learned first is that it's not just your sun sign and it's not just your moon sign. So, moon sign particularly deals with the emotional part of yourself. And when we get into the emotional part of yourself, you want to know all of your planets. So when you look at the novice astrologer or the beginner astrologer, he's just fine with what they give them, which is not the complete thing. But when we're dealing with solar biology, you're dealing with all 13 aspects of the planetary system. So you may be born as a Virgo, or you may be born as a Cancer or whatnot, but you still have planets in all aspects of your chart. And so that meaning that in if you are having a choice of a planet in your house, let's say it's moon, then that deals with your emotion, then what that's telling you is you're going to need to know where your moon is in your chart in terms of a yearly, a monthly, and even a daily basis. Because what is happening now is you need to connect in terms of the astral plane downloading information, and that will either come through in terms of the traveling of the planets, how they travel through the chart, or that'll come through, let's say, your aging. So you would reach a part of your life when you age, and you change your perspective or your outlook. This is when the Bible scripture says you put away childish things. And so um,
and can I put a note in there? What do
mhm.
you, not to sidetrack you, but I have a question. How do you feel about people introducing natal charts at the birth of their child? Because we talked about this before, but for the people, what do you think about it being a standard in Black community of us deciphering the natal charts of our children at birth?
Well, when we look at our ancestors, we see clearly that that's how they were able not only to separate fruits, nuts, sprouts, vegetables, and align purification in terms of healing, but they were able to align our attributes from birth, and
Yes.
and our attributes in terms of the solar biology. It gives you a blueprint. So blueprint meaning you you have a manual, but your manual is not only for your sun's sign. So your natal chart for your child, you would not only be looking at your child's sun sign, you would be looking at all of the planets that are in your entire chart. The meaning of those planets in your chart that identify with your life or the life you're going to live. And then what we have is the for your child, again, progression reading or your yearly chart for that child. So that would be your progression as you progress in life. And then, so in terms of on the standard we should hold for our children, you would know exactly what characteristics or attributes are in your child from the very beginning of birth. Once
Yeah.
again, as novice astrologers, we know this, it's a snapshot picture taken from the birth you were born in terms of the hour and the minute, and that gives you your natal chart. That begins to give you the functionality of your natal chart. But
Yes.
and one of the things I think in terms of progression reading, we need to understand that uh, we were sent here. We are soul beings, so that means we are spiritual beings, and we had to lower our frequency to enter a being. So when we say what is solar biology, it's me manifesting matter. It's me from a soul, from a being manifesting this body. And so now in this body, I must be able to download information to my in terms of my kundalini and all my other glands, which are chakras. And this is how we get to uh, uh, coming to our charts. And each chart, not only your birthday month, but all of the other charts, you begin to read the aspects of the planets in each one of these houses as you go around. And you
Right.
begin to now master in terms of the blueprint. What are you here for? Yes, you're going to have emotion and moon, but when you read your moon chart in terms of your progressive chart for your birth chart, it's going to show you how to handle your emotion in situations when you're around people in moon, and it's going to show you how best you're going to be capable to be your best self with this emotion. So whether that means tampering it down in a crowd full of people who are too excited, or does it mean be passionate right now because you're crying out for justice? It's
Right.
like what young Pharaoh said. There's a righteous anger, and so you're going to need to be able to fit in um, um, all of these um, all of these factors in how did you get here. You're going to make that clear. I got here from being a being, and then I took on the physical matter.
Yes.
That is the process of solar biology. So now, why is that important? We need to get back to the sun, where we download information to our DNA, because once again, our DNA and RNA is able to download this 8 hours of sun, along with using our charts, our moon, our sun, our Venus, and of course, as you go through Venus, you'd see different aspects that belong to you in this lifetime. You're not looking at it and saying that's another person's chart. You're
Right.
getting into your solar biology so you can download the information and all aspects of your symbols of your
Yep.
planet.
Because even though the planets have specific energies that it give off, depending on where your chart is, it'll affect you different. So you
Right,
kind of got to know, like knowing your natal chart is the beginning of knowledge of self, because then you can then that's an introduction to moon signs and the and sun rotations, and like you can calculate, okay, during this time of the month I'm probably going to be angry or depressed or super happy, so this is the things that I need to do. Like, it's not magic, it's a science. It's not witchcraft, it's a science.
that's
Like,
right. And some people may be afraid of the topic of, well, what are we getting to here when we go deeper? What you're getting into is the ancestors have information that you can use to help you now. So there's a past life and there's a present life. So whatever you've mastered in your past life, you probably are gonna be using it at the age of 6 years old. So
mhm.
that's why you have genius drawers at the age of six, or genius artists who can do art and craft at the age of a very young age. It's because there's a past life effect that they brought to the present life, and that has to do with your solar biology and your charts. And so, when we talk about your situation with the past life taking fold in the present, it has to do with the willpower. And when we talk about willpower, you get the willpower from your soul. And so without your soul, you won't have the willpower. And so that works in consummate with one another. And so you willfully choose uh, balance instead
Right.
of hot cold. And so hot cold meaning once I enter my chart and these planets enter my chart, there's going to be a certain retrograde or a certain planetary effect. The
Mhm.
energies of the planets are very affected. And so the hot cold, I'm staying lukewarm as these planets enter my chart. Because whether the retrograde or the polarity of the planets, or whether the difficulty of finishing or starting something as I go around these planets, it's teaching me in my natal chart how can I best prepare myself before I become sickly in any situation. It's preparing me how best to use my Virgo, how best to use my Capricorn, how best to use my Taurus as I go around in these houses each part of the year. And not only that, um, it prepares you to uh, 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 to disarm any negativity before it reaches. So this is why the blueprint is here, so you can master what you're supposed to do here on Earth,
Right.
as opposed to finding out late after the fact that you lost your freedom and or
Yeah.
in a negative way. So this is why this is the preventative measure from the ancestor to help us not only achieve just our sun sign or our moon sign, but to achieve all aspects and our characteristics with every planet.
And I want to say this. It is a lost art that just got found,
Mhm.
especially in this community because I remember um my first encounter with horoscopes was through the Chinese menus and in like little magazines where they had like little love horoscopes in the corner of the magazine.
Right,
But they never get into the intricate details of it because it was just watered down
right,
so
right,
much. And
right,
there's like it just amazes me to think how our ancestors had all this stuff mapped out already for us. Like,
right. And that's why, in a construct of 2,000 years, which is a construct of the Christianity and all the other religions, they can only go so far with the astrology, which
right,
is which is as far as they can go. But once we go and return our knowledge back to Egypt, or the information we attain and return it back to Egypt, we find that uh, the DNA needs that sun. And so when we see something like solar biology, we improve by mastering our natal chart.
yep. And
Once,
that's why it's important. Like, young Pharaoh teaches that our hair is our antennas for the photons to hit in a spiral, and that because that's how energy, it's the Fibonacci spiral. That's how the energy gets through to our brain.
yes,
And think about all the ways that we cut off our antenna with all the chemicals that we put in our hair, with all the hats and things of that nature. Like, or think about the 9 to 5 life that we live, where we don't even have time to meditate. We don't have time to study the stars, to map out the stars, to actually like we have to make force time, not make time, but force time to even study the things that we know, because it's just this entire ecosystem of the way they set us up. There is no time for knowledge. There is no time for sun gazing or moon gazing, or you know where's the black kids with the telescopes at?
right.
You know, like
Such beautiful points you brought up, because do you know there's a reason why you can't keep a car so long? The reason why you probably can't keep a car so long without it breaking down so much,
mhm.
check your solar chart, check your natal chart. The reason why
Yeah,
you probably can't keep a conversation going on a stable mental note before you get sexual with a girl, or a girl coming on too strong with a guy, check your natal chart. You're wondering why you're always having the same problems with electronics, or mechanical issues, check your natal chart, because I can guarantee you everything is the reason why you're approaching challenges. You check your natal chart.
right,
And so, um, it's a procession. It's a procession of life that you chose to live. So, for example, people are in their first house. They're always, their aura is always around them, and their aura is always them first. And so, imagine when Mars enters that house of their first house, which is January. So, if Mars enters there, and it's not that these people are selfish. It's the life they chose to live.
right,
That's just what it is in their solar chart for the life. Now we get to the progression reading, and you see Mars enters that first house. Now Mars highlights I need things done quickly. I need action now. And so now Mars now magnifies
That
what
energy. Yeah.
exactly. And so these energies are and these planets are very effective, and we have to we need to know that it is very it can implement you to take in making decisions and making raw decision, raw choices. Remember, choices, the will, zero balance, being lukewarm once you know your planets and once you get your progression reading in your planets. Zero balance for you to use Ma'at, goddess Ma'at. So now when you're using zero balance with goddess Ma'at with all the aspects of your planet, now you're doing what you're here to be done in this life you chose.
Yeah. And let me show the people a sample of a natal chart because just to put some more emphasis on what he's teaching, a natal chart will show you what degrees the planets were spinning, what energies were emitting when your soul entered your body. So these are all the gases, and these are all the personality traits and the lessons that you came here to learn. That's where you absorbed all that energy before you entered your body, in your vessel. So we're not going to do a whole breakdown because we're going to be doing a lecture on this soon. But I just wanted to show them. I'm going to take us off the screen so they can just see what it looks like. And then anything that you would like to expound on it about, I'll give you the floor. Okay. Is there? There you go. Not you have the floor. You have the floor, Kench.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So some people may actually have their charts up now in the comments. Thank you if you do for following that way. But that chart just now, in the aspects, we can see different symbols as you go around the 12 houses. So those symbols, you may look at those symbols and say, I'm not worried about symbol XYZ or the other planet here or the other planet here. But and what astrology is teaching is as far as they know. They're teaching that hey, your sun sign is you're good. Nah, you're not good because you're a different DNA. You're a different RNA. Therefore, 8 hours of sun and downloading information from the Akashic is beneficial to you. So, why is this important? Each planet, now that you have already your sun sign in the house that you were born, you now need to know the rest of these planets. That's why the symbols are there, and that's why it's important to continue on to know the other 12 planets, not just the sun. And they all have aspects. It's certain websites you can go to get the aspects in each of these planets in terms of and the degrees. You see the degrees there. All of this makes sense, and some website and free readings of the natal chart provide the meaning behind those numbers. But now the main thing is you're getting the blueprint for how you progress in a year, and it's making you fail safe. It's giving you fail safe mechanisms in your true aspect for this life, and uh, it's giving you fail safe mechanisms for you to master. For instance, if I know I'm a loud person, and I may be I may have a rebellious spirit around everyone. So and I get to know my natal chart. It's no excuse for me not to be in a position to use my righteous anger, but to temper my overwhelming energy around other people. And so and it prepares you, because if you do get out of hand, then it'll be foolishness without thought behind it, or
Yes.
uncognizant thought that can lead you to a wrong willful choice.
Right. And I want to put a little conspiracy theory out there because I wholeheartedly believe that with these celebrities, I think they get their natal charts read and they tell you, okay, this is when you'll die. So you can, up until this point, I'll give you all the riches and all the, carnal, earthly needs, wants, and you just have to let me use you and essentially sell your soul to me up until it's time for you to go.
Yeah, and
Because if you notice, especially a lot of these younger artists, they'll rap their death in their songs.
yes,
From
yes,
XXX Tentacion to Juice World to like Lil Peep to like just all of these newer artists, they all sing and rap about their own death situation. And I feel like it's because their natal charts are read because, Masons do know this science. Like,
yes. You brought up such an important point, and why I say that is because the book that I read is from 1921. But now let's go back. Um, Celebrities and elites at that time would only be the ones to get a reading. So you had to be a king, a queen, a princess, or a prince to get a reading. No local person could get a reading. And so once now, based on the reading of an astrology, meaning the Greek version, they would get their reading considering that they're all elites and
right.
everybody else is not. So these people would know their readings due to their favor with one another in their high places. And what'll end up happening is um, you'd have this is why you'd have plan attacks, and this is why you have, like you said, people will speak things into fruition right into their lives. There's been stories where kings and queens knew knew the times that they would leave their body, and so
Yep.
and they planned accordingly, and so uh, and I think what we have now here is we have and the Scientology community and Vatican City, they're first of all, they have a lot of our Egyptian stuff. So
Yes.
this solar biology was taken away and put away as far as it could be put. But as we can see, everything returns, and especially to this Aquarius age that we're in.
Yeah, we at the tip of the iceberg. We at the cusp of Aquarius.
Yeah,
I think it starts in like 2030 or something like that. But right now we are in that transitioning period, the
right,
Great Awakening.
right. 2036, I think. So
Yeah,
mhm. So now, and then that has to do with the cardinal shift that is coming. So when you know your natal chart, and now when you know solar biology, is the introduction I'm introducing you guys to, you would know how to prepare yourself due to the planet that is in your house for January and December. So
mhm.
now when this phase comes through of the actual 12 o'clock, all planets on the line, cardinal shift, when that takes place, not only will you be in line to best get that energy with which our ancestors will be sending due to this timing and shift, we'll be best prepared uh, to um, do what we're supposed to do in all of our little aspects and
All
come
right.
together as a team, as a conscious, awoke team who's using the natal chart to help empower and embrace the will that we truly have and use will with soul.
Indeed, indeed. And yeah, like it's an amazing it's an amazing concept, and one of the branches that I wanted to throw out there, introduce people, and I know you know about this, is life path numbers, and how they are calculated using the same information that you use when you find out, your placements. You calculate it using your birth date, and each number, each letter is represented by a number, and so you're
Right.
always breaking things down, just like how you break things down in the Pythagorean theorem. You can literally do that and find out your life path number And like my life path number is a 9. So I'm a natural humanitarian. I'm a natural teacher. I'm a natural herbologist. So anything that I do outside of what I was meant to do will always fail.
Right, and I'm a
Because,
natural investigator, and I like the deeper
yep,
research.
the
So
occult,
that's
the dark, the
exactly.
mystery, the all that
So
stuff. Yeah.
the thing about you brought up something else that was very important. I think when we start to look at what is your life path, you say, okay, my life path. Well, I don't know what it is. My resume says this or that. I
Mhm.
have a degree, or but when we talk about esoteric knowledge or beyond 33rd degree man grandmaster knowledge in the Freemason, we only have the Latin Vulgate, the Quran, and the Christianity Bible. But
Yeah.
when you're talking about esoteric knowledge that is downloaded from the sun to your DNA, that is beyond. So right off the bat, as you begin to learn your charts, and as you begin to follow the fail-safe mechanism that is there to defend off negative energy, defend off, and not only defend off, empower you so you can get closer to opening your glands. So when you open each one of your glands from Kundalini or root chakra, now you can start to work that spiral up to the God Pharaoh level chakra. Now,
Yeah.
when you reach the God Pharaoh level chakra, as you said, your life number is 9. It actually takes upwards of 90 plus years for you to master 13 chakras. And so this is where life path, or this is where when our brother Young Pharaoh spoke about the telomeres wick.
Yes.
Telomeres wick has to do with your diet. So you're going to live longer, of course, with the right diet that is made for the human body. But secondly, you can affect uh, how you reach the Pharaoh God level. And all the Pharaoh God level in terms of, oh, well, I'm going to die if I don't know. It may mean you have to come back in this life
Yeah.
a womb. So, and it also means that you're not done. But if you live to see 120 years, now it's not saying that life in the physical becomes boring, but maybe now you've lived your full experience due to the solar chart. So your experience now that you're supposed to have, and the natal chart, which it makes you feel safe living in it, and you follow by, now you're living beyond hundreds of years. Now you ask yourself, when you leave the carcass and you go to be that being again, that eternal being, do you want to come back after you've been here for 109 years? Do
Yeah.
you want to come and experience this physical body through the plane, astral plane again? Maybe not. So
And
this
did you learn the lessons that you came through
right,
to here to learn?
right. And so that if that has to do a little with the life number, and you can actually affect that as we know with the telomeres, Vic, it may start off short. You can expand it, or you can burn it out very fast, and then you know what
And
happens.
can we kind of talk about, because a lot of people sometimes when they get knowledge, I call it the blame God effect, where if you're religious, anything that you do, good or bad, is based on God or the devil, right?
Right,
So if somebody with the elementary mind finds out about solar biology and they say, "Oh, I was always going to be a thief," like they'll make that as another excuse. They'll replace God with the planets. So can we kind of talk about the scales of Ma'at and how like everything is based on intention?
right,
Like, did you intend harm? Your they don't weigh your brain, they weigh your heart.
right,
And it's a reason for that.
right. And that comes with the bad part of the sign, or like people like to say, the bad parts of or the lower self of your signs.
Yes.
So you can feel insecure about your girlfriend. You can always be checking her text. You could be You can make a shadow account on Facebook and IG and be fake texting her to see if she's going to respond to a different man, not knowing it's just a different account and it's you. You can be so caught up in your lower self that you don't give your own woman freedom to let her be her own woman. And now you change the whole dynamics of karma. And so what you did
Yes.
not do was you did not read your chart. You did not apply yourself to your natal chart. So you did not accept the fact that maybe it's a retrograde with a certain planet and didn't let the universe apply and then you follow. You try to interchange and make things happen on your own. And so this is when now the sale the fail safe mechanism can't work for you because you went outside of your natal chart. You went outside of the manual.
Yes.
And so now you're probably gonna get whatever the karmic coming back. This is why past life, knowing your past life, which is the continuum of your 13 planets, knowing your
Right.
past life is also important. So you could know what you've already mastered, and now what is your present purpose for here.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I think we did a great introduction to those concepts. Like I said, we'll be coming back with a part two, and we'll be breaking down what sign means what and all the symbols, and we're going to really get deep into it for y'all. So be on the lookout for that. Now, for the people who don't know, you kind of have a history of like you've been on television before, correct? What were
Yes, I
you
have.
being?
I've been on television on a show called The Haja Black, and a show called Star FM. Um, and it's a TV broadcast where most of the nation tune into, and that was the opportunity I get to first start teaching about cryptocurrency,
Yes.
what is monetary sovereignty, um, and so I'm actually scheduled to go back on a TV show again in the coming weeks, and but I think um, I just want to also mention that I am reading my chart, and my chart is telling me that I will be good with my money and I will be good with other people's money.
Right.
Even though I started doing research on, let's say, economic market, trading, forex, equities, uh, quantitative easing, and once I started getting into these, and I found out in my solar biology that I'm going to be dealing with people's money, and that's my life path. Then I needed to master that. So I needed to, and I didn't need to put gas in the car to master that because it was already in me subconsciously. But when I came to the level of knowledge that I need to get to, I found okay, I'm all okay. That's good. So I'm gonna just run through the wall with this.
And that and I like that aspect because I was aimless for a long time too before I found out about natal charts and started like reading my stuff. And I'm literally what I'm doing now, speaking to you, speaking to the people, teaching. That's literally what it says in my chart that I was sitting here to do. And it feels good when you have that safety net of okay, I know what I'm doing. It says I'm divinely supposed to do this. Now I just have to put in the work.
Right.
And the
That's all.
universe will configure your whole entire universe to where you can be at the top because you are following your path. You are like some people don't understand that to be divinely guided, you have to know yourself. You have to know your purpose. It's not just a cute saying. Like you really have to know like these are my strengths. These are my natural God given, universe given strengths, and I need to capitalize on that monetarily, mentally, all that stuff, all of it. So,
Right. So I'm feeling so good. The family that I'm with now, I'm feeling wonderful every day. That
Yes.
family has heard my stories, heard my cries, heard my pains, what I battled. We shared our experiences,
Yes.
and we've also in our own filtering and venting, we've backed one another, and that's what a family is. And this family is very far apart from me, and this family
Yes.
is Kiss Cavalli's family, and I thank her. People like Cataleo, I thank you all, because um, am I able to express myself? Yes. Am I able to freely express myself and still have people back me, and am I and give me structure, and hold me accountable, to make me not only produce, but
Yes.
keep that zero balance, that God as my principles would expect us to. And I love that.
Yes, we have definitely in Kiss's conversations, we have definitely found that soul family that all of us in that group has clearly been yearning for. And I think that that's something to look into also, because depending on where our charts are, we were always going to naturally gravitate towards each other, because that's just how the planets in the in the universe works. Like it's just
There's
it's
actually a part of the chart that says
yes,
you may travel to find yourself again. And so you
yes,
be a nomad in order to find yourself again. Ever heard someone say, I'm going to take a trip to Los Angeles or China or Australia just to get away? It
yep.
be in their chart, but they're subconsciously doing it without even knowing their natal chart.
That they're
And so
living in their truth. They like that's living in your truth right there. Like, and I want to say this because I'm not trying to be funny, but in my chart it says like, oh, you'll go through a lot of relationships, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of breakups, and that's true. And
and
it gives like the exact reasons why I will go through that, and what the result of going through that, like the lesson that I'm supposed to learn through those different relationships and those connections and disconnections, like everything. I I'm gonna I want to show you guys some books that I have based on this stuff. Give me
all
one
right.
second.
Yeah, that's right. So it's been a beautiful experience, me reading up on solar biology, and I want to give a shout out to Baba TV once again for giving me the opportunity to ask young Pharaoh about the book list, because once again the book list, once you get past Jim Crow, once you get past Without Sanctuary, it's going to tell you why you need to think this way. It's going to tell you why you need to think this way. Then you get past the Gullah Wars, you get past the Unconquered, when you get past Black Wall Street, um, it will prepare your mind not to be against hating against another race, but it prepares you, um, for you to return to what it benefits you, and what benefits you is sun from that DNA, because from your DNA to your RNA, and we can go into another show on why they're trying to the AI set that they're creating. They're trying to manipulate mankind and actually take over our consciousness and replace it with an AI. So this is why it is important, once again, for you to know your natal chart, because your natal chart would restrict negative. It'll put you in position to have powers around you. Your biofield, once again, biology, solar biology, your biofield, because of you tending to nature and tending to nurture, and you're becoming zero balance as you go through each one of these planets. So each one of these planets will have a negative polarity, which could cause you act out in a negative way, or a positive polarity, which can cause you act out in a positive way. The observant, the one who is observant or stays warm in the middle of these aspects traveling through the 12 months, the one who stays lukewarm, balanced, observant, is the one who will use their will, which is connected to the soul, which you already got the information from the ancestors helping you to make the righteous choice willingly. So the will is important.
You broke that down so well. Okay, so I'm gonna do two things. All right, and we talked about this earlier. I got this phone number. I'm gonna try to get people to call in, and what I'm gonna do is
That's right.
I'm going to we're gonna do something really fun, really fun. Hold on 1 second, as I type this in. Okay, so I have two books. I have two books in front of me,
There
but
you go.
I got two books in front of me. All right. There's the call-in number. I have the only astrology book you'll ever need, and the power of birthdays, stars, and numbers. And yes, I don't play when it comes to my research. Okay, I does this. Call that number and tell me your birthday, yeah, call in, tell me your birthday, okay, and then we can talk about if that actually matches. Now we got having that original understanding, that's facts. And obeys God. Obeys God says important to note that once they inject you with their nanotech, you become their legal property. Yeah, that's facts. And I wouldn't be surprised if they put something in that chip to where they could like zap your nervous system or something. Like it could be like nano. No, like I was doing some research and they literally use nanoparticles in some of these vaccines, and I'm actually working on a lecture about that. Like they literally explicitly say that they use nanoparticles in the vaccines coming up for this COVID. That's
Yep.
supposed to detect the COVID strain.
Well, I want to tell people if they wanted more updated version, the latest video I watched was with Young Pharaoh and Kiara. She and him spoke about it very well, about the AI, and then us, once we would have connect ourselves to social media so much, and then we inseminate ourselves with this whatever virus, I call it. You're sticking me with a virus. You're not giving me a vaccine.
Excuse me.
So,
Yeah,
um,
the concept don't even make sense to me.
so you'd be able to the elites will be able to activate um, this AI through the insemination of this vaccine in you. And now when they activate that, which is why the 5G towers are needed, and which is why they need us to keep making accounts.
And you know what they did too? They are cataloging our thoughts, our feelings, who we know. That's why every app asks you like, "What can I get access to your contacts? Can I get access to your camera?" You know, they do that so they can just log information, so they can make a digital copy of you, so they can kind of guesstimate how you would react to certain negative or positive stimuli. Like it's it's very intricate, and they've taken their time to study human behavior. They've taken their time to study the astrological elements of reality. They they we lived through a lot of rituals, and I was thinking there's two things that I wanted to say. One, have you noticed how they have stolen our life energy as far as time goes, because they have every season clocked. Like every store that you go to, that's how you know what season it is.
Right.
We don't even base the weather. We don't know the weather. We know if Walmart has the pumpkin spice out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or is Christmas music playing, or or is there green everywhere? Okay, it's St. Patrick, so it must be April,
Right.
March, April. Like
And
like
that, and that's
like that's
dangerous.
yeah, they've literally stolen our concept of time.
And that's dangerous with the diet because you would order oranges from another part of the planet that is not seasonal for your Caribbean part of the planet where I live. And so what you're doing is you're taking a seasonal orange out of a different hemisphere and bringing it to an atmosphere where it isn't ready to even season, much less be eaten. And so now you're messing up. You willingly, by choice, you're not connected to the solar, so you're not connected to great diet, which is not gonna help your telomeres grow. And so you're going outside of yourself, drinking milk that's only for cows, eating red meat that's only for animals. Once you start going outside of yourself,
Yep.
you're not looking from within. You mentioned this to the group before, giving yourself credit. It takes hard work for you to do some research. When you stay up all night to do a presentation,
Yeah.
or you're gonna present something to help people because you don't want to send people if you love your work. You don't want to send people into a hole. So
Right.
your irrefutable research is gonna be presented in terms of your irrefutable guidance is there for the natal chart once you're able to master your own. Your
Exactly.
irrefutable guidance is there for your natal chart.
Someone said in the comments earlier, I want to give them their credit because let me find them. I believe it was Jay. Let me see. Someone said that it would us knowing our natal charts at birth would cut out a lot of problems. Like, oh, okay, yep, that alone would solve 80% of our problems. That's facts. Like, we wouldn't even feel depressed about failing at something that we were never meant to do
Right.
ever.
And that's why you have willful jealousy. You have will. And so some people's will is not connected to their soul. So they don't give two hoots about nature or nurture. This is
Right.
why you have the story of Osiris and what his brother did to him. And so
Yep.
and what Osiris's queen, which she tried to do after the brother killed Osiris. And so the manifestation of the afterlife and such. And people just willfully do the wrong things. And so the balance, when your heart goes to the balance and principles of mind, it better be light as a feather.
Right.
All I'm going to
Right.
say.
Exactly. So I think that is a perfect way to end this. Shout out Queen Pharaoh in the building. I see you, Queen. Hey,
Thank you.
we love you
Love
too.
you.
Yes. So I want to shout out the Black Sector Awards. Y'all get ready for that. We about to start ramping up. Like I said, me and KENSHON are gonna be doing a part two. So get ready for that. We're gonna do you know how you know how it goes down on Who Asked You podcast.
Man, we the little group, but we coming back too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the little short people hit bigger than the big.
That's facts. That's facts. So, is there anything you would like to tell the audience before we leave here? And if y'all don't be scared to call this phone number, okay? Let's do a little. Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun with breaking down. 810-895-2202. Hit my phone. And actually, I'm gonna try to do that once a week. have people call in and expound on the stuff we're talking about. I think that would be like super dope.
That's right, because it's freedom of view. Uh, Beyond having a question about your subject matter, people are going to want to disagree as well,
Yeah,
and
and
have
that
to give them
listen,
reasons not to.
it's in my it's in my chart that I love to argue. So please, uh, so Erica Williams, she said, "Can you please post his IG? I can't find KENSHON." Let's see. Okay, let me see. Okay, it came up. Okay, you know what I'll do? Let me go on Instagram because I want them to be able to follow you and learn from you. So
Yeah, man, it's been I think one of the things that I want to point out, you know, a team is not built on the star. A team is built on everybody having a different set of attributes that they bring to the table, and that we all uh, are able to observe, nurture, and nature in the time of each being. And so, the aspect of team, um, I think team is one of the lost arts in us. First of all, how do you find a friend when you shouldn't trust anybody? And second of all, how do you find like-minded people who are woke? I'm finding them around the world or far away from me. I'm not finding no wake people in Nassau within 6 miles of me. I may
right.
find someone further than that, but my point is appreciate the people, because your chart may tell you you-
Hello.
you're gonna be you're gonna be very good at finding friends
Hold
out
on
of
one
your
second.
range, but you're gonna find like-minded people who are out of your range.
That is facts. Okay, for everybody who was asking, there is KENSHON's Instagram, and we have our very first caller. Welcome to the Who Asked You podcast show. Thank you for calling in. Can you please tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah. I got a question.
Okay.
Um, I just want to understand what all this stuff be, because, some of this stuff don't make no sense, because I ain't grow up like that. We talk about astrology and all that.
So I think that is like that's the fault of our parents for not looking deep enough into life. Um, what was when was the first time you ever heard about astrology?
And now y'all just playing. I'm just playing. Y'all just playing.
Oh, what's up,
How
Queen?
y'all doing?
Queen want to play.
Where
Queen
are
Pharaoh in the building. She want to play games. What's good?
That's my girl. That's my girl.
I just want to say you guys are killing it. You guys
Thank you.
are bringing so much clarity. I'm learning so much. Like, you guys are so wise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
I'm just
Queen.
trying to. I always say this. I just try to do my part in helping and sending our people. I'm one person, but if whoever I can reach, I was supposed to, amongst all the other great teachers that we have out here.
Yes. Okay, y'all. I'm going to get off this phone line, with all that playing and stuff. But yes, guys, keep going.
All right, I appreciate you. I got some words for you later too. All right, bye. All right, y'all. 810 895 2202. I like this phone stuff. I'm gonna have to do this. Yeah, I know. I try to. I don't know. I might have to find another one that's actually clear, but I like this call in stuff. I ain't even gonna lie. I see why the great one does it. Because I love that. So yeah, call in to get your birthday zodiac. These books, this is the only astrology book you'll ever need. This breaks down. Okay, this breaks down. You want some relationship advice live? I got you. Tell me your boyfriends or your girlfriends' astrological sign or their birthday, and I can break that down why y'all got problems or why y'all are doing good. This has all that, and this one even breaks down even more. Okay, we got another caller. Let's see. Hello, you have called into Who Asked You podcast. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from. Hey, shout out New York. What's going on?
Watching you guys for the first time. I've seen Julie on Instagram, but I didn't know you guys do YouTube live too, so I've been doing the show.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you calling in and you watching. Yeah, we do lectures and reviews, current events, music shows, all types of stuff. Is there anything that you would like to know about astrology or your birthday or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I'm trying to birth chart. I've been trying to figure mine out. Doing stuff on my own, Googling stuff, trying to figure it out, but don't know much. So I would really like to birth chart.
Okay, well, I can tell you who to go to get a natal chart breakdown. Her name is Kiki Akhenaten. You can find her on Instagram. But what I can do is you don't have to tell me the year you were born, but what is your birth month and birthday? Oh, I turned right to it. That's divine. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit about yourself, and you tell me if this book is right. Okay, it says strong willpower, determination, and productivity are some of the qualities associated with your birthday. As a Cancerian, you are intuitive, imaginative. However, your sense of values and materialistic inclinations suggest that financial security may play an important part in your overall plan. The sub-influence of your decadent ruler Scorpio suggests that you like to be in a position of influence and enjoy power or being in control. You may, however, have to guard against the tendency to be too demeaning. Hardworking and forceful with good organizational abilities, you often possess good business sense and a pragmatic approach. Although you often have conservative views and good moral qualities, you want to succeed materially and socially. Since you want to express your individuality, you do not like to take orders from others. You frequently create your own ethics and moral code of conduct, but must guard against being too opinionated. Learning to collaborate with others brings rewarding experiences, and by developing your diplomatic skills, you often enhance your powers of persuasion. You grow more confident in all areas of your life after the age of 15. When you progress, Sun moves into Leo for a 30-year period. At the age of 45, there is another change of emphasis in your life when you progress. Sun moves into Virgo. With this influence, you are likely to become more analytical and discriminating. At the age of 75, when your progressed Sun enters Libra, you are likely to want more harmony and beauty in your environment. Now, did anything that I read there, does that pertain to your life?
Correct.
That's fire. That's the power of the planet show. Okay, I'm gonna read one more thing for you, and then
Awesome.
I'll let you
Awesome.
ask me any questions or ask KENSHON anything that you would like to know. Let me see where it's at because I love reading it. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna say some positive aspects and some negative aspects, and if you laugh on the negative, I'm pretty sure that's correct. positive, faithfulness, important responsibilities, joy of living, love of enterprise, successful and creative activities. Negative, the urge for freedom at any cost, misuse of power and positions of trust.
That's right. That's right. And it's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing because I'm actually a Nile River. And when you return that Greek freak back from Cancer to Egyptian, I'm Nile River. So that's my bloodline. And so, in terms of my connection with my ancestors, I first acknowledge that. And then I start to acknowledge the planets that I'm going to be entering every month. And I acknowledge the places that they're in. So I can be very effective while moving through them, before moving through them, not while.
so is that so you guys are kind of like in the same astrological boat?
Yes. I don't know if the book you have is dated to the dates of birthday, but between the Cancer area, which is I think July 21st and June 22nd, that's me.
Yeah, it breaks down. Yeah, we
Hmm.
I could go through every single day of every single year and break down people. Like
And
I
that's
can
a
do
quick
that.
synopsis of the life path that a particular Cancerian or a particular Nile River Egyptian would live. That's the path that you choose to live. It isn't a snide on your uh, you it isn't a snide on your being judgmental on you or your selfish path, or it may seem that you're a little off standish. No, it just means that you've probably mastered some things in the past life and you're going to now master some new things in this present life.
Correct. And I always, when I read mine, I always say, okay, these are my negative aspects. So these are the areas I know I need to work on, or at least check myself.
Mhm.
You know.
Sir,
So
that's right.
caller. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a wonderful feeling. I think when we talk about getting getting the best out of your getting the best out of your preparation for a week, a month, a day. You're supposed to know the positions of your planets, and when you know the positions, you'll know the progressive readings. And so, if your teacher in astrology tells you you need to know your moon and where it is every day, it's effective for you, and you don't keep up with your moon, then you wondering later on, why is my emotions that I know I can control, but I wasn't able to control it last week or last night? It's because you went, you didn't stick to the natal chart. Once again, you went on your own. And so if you had known that moon is a new moon, which means double the polarity, which means double the emotion, if that's in your house, then you would be prepared to tamper your emotion amongst the presentation, amongst the crowd, amongst the mass, and you would know how to be prepared to best work and do what you're supposed to do for the universe while you're here. And the negative polarity of a new moon would not affect you
Right.
anymore.
That's fire. That's fire advice. So caller, is there any other questions that you have, or anything you would like to add before we go to the next caller?
No, I thank you guys very much. I'll continue to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mhm.
All righty. Would anybody else like to call? The number is 810-895-2202. We can probably take like two more callers if y'all want to talk about, come up here and get your birthday read. Could you collaborate on what is the Nile River and what are the different types? And
Okay.
have you heard? I have never heard of sidereal chart. Um, but you know,
Well, I saw the first question. Um, Nile River. When we learn of astrology, it's in the Greek terms, or it's in the terms of uh, the mythology. Um, but when we look at Egyptian, and we look at our Egyptian ancestors, they all are in the house. So we will replace um, the horn or the bull or the scorpion. We will replace that with the principles of our ancestors in those houses. And so Nile River would be that my people, as opposed to Nu, or as opposed to Thoth, Lord Thoth, as opposed to um, Sekhmet. So we would see that Nile River is uh, is the Egyptian returning the Egyptian to my month, which is in June, but it's returning the Egyptian truth to that month instead of sticking with just the Cancerian way or the Cancerian outlook, which comes only from astrology. So now, back in the day, the priests used to call astrology solar biology. And so solar biology is astrology. That's what solar biology is. But then now we're talking about a continuum of 2,000 years where we have a group of people who believe in religion and who believe in mythology. They have a certain way of presenting this astrology to us. And so we're only used to that way. But the new way now, or the original way, the new way tonight in this presentation is your sun. Sun, solar. You need sun, solar. So you need that 8 hours solar while reading the charts, while knowing the planets. Solar coming, giving your DNA from the Kundalini up, spiraling to the God Pharaoh level chakra. And once you start to achieve this through your charts, day, month, year, DNA will start to become greater. Understanding and esoteric knowledge will become greater. And of course, you'd start to unlock. You'd be able to attain gifts that was originally there with you, but were dormant as you start to get progressively into your chart. Understand it and apply it. So it's not for you to go and bet in Las Vegas for you to find out what your solar natal chart is all about. It's not for you to have predictive text. It's for you to actually, if you're not matching the frequency of God and righteousness, if you're not matching that God frequency and that frequency of righteousness, justice, and virtue, then you're making willfully evil decisions, and so you're not matching it. Now you've allowed that lower frequency being or deity to come into you, take over and possess you. Now you're gonna get results from someone who possessed you, which is a bad result.
That's facts. Jay, you said have you heard the sidereal chart? I call that the natal chart. So yeah, I never heard it called a sidereal chart, but I looked it up, and yeah, that's the natal chart. Yes, I know. We know about that. We were actually breaking that down and talking about that earlier. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes to see if anybody else wants to you know get read for the one time before we end this. Uh, Shout out to myself. I have started a business um, called Astro Aromatics, and what it is using spiritual mediums that are botanical in nature, which is plant based mediums for healing, for meditation. Uh, I'm selling like cinnamon brooms, selling different types of sages. I got essential oils, all that kind of stuff. A website is coming soon, but right now I am taking orders. Just go to my Instagram and go ahead and follow business page. Actually, let me bring my business page up.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because I'm gonna be getting into my list, and I'm gonna be sending it to you soon. But
I appreciate that.
yeah, and I think um, one of the things we need to be able to understand is we're not being held from the conferences that these people have on melanin. All right, so melanin is the function. Okay, that's your function. You go into a room and you're able to tell in a family reunion who's still hating on you from the past. You're able to tell.
That's facts.
You're able to detect that this is not a fair feeling that I'm having here while I'm in court. It feels like the jury and the judge. It feels. So that means your melanin, your intuitive is telling you something. Intuitive. Intuitive comes from, and especially a heightened sense of intuitive comes from downloaded information from your DNA. This information comes from our star dust that we belong to. And if you are not made of this stardust, then like young Pharaoh question was, where did you come from? And so we have to now be proud of our DNA helix and what our DNA and our helix can unfold to be. It's like the all spark in the transformer, and we're the all spark. We're not the transformer transforming in the physical, but how do we match frequency in bio dual, meaning one is the transformer, one is the all spark in the transformer. How do I fuel my all spark while I'm in my transformer? Natal chart.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's I will just put a cap on that by saying that it's written in the stars isn't just a saying. Hold on. Jay says the difference is the tropical system is based on a fixed astrological map of the stars as they were around 0 AD. The sidereal system is based on the current position of the constellations. Oh,
Okay.
so that's why you're saying you're talking about how they're like trying to switch the astrological signs around and bring new signs in. I'm gonna stick with the ancestral information. That's just my choice. I don't know if
I'm
anybody
gonna check
else.
that out. I'm actually gonna check that out because and I also have some more homework to do because I want to know what Syria A. I want to know what
In
Syria
because
A.
they got a sign that says like Orpheus or something like that along those lines. And I don't
Right.
know.
Not to get off topic too much, but I think when your chart says that you would like to research and dig deep, then that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna research and dig deep, and finding truth will be like a video game to you. So just keep digging up that truth, Jay. Keep getting that truth.
Obeys God says, I definitely believe we have the ability to hone our frequency in on a specific target and manipulate there or its frequency. I've actually done it myself. Yeah, they are and have been. And hold on, old head Deuce says, are we in Mercury retrograde? I'm not sure. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up for sure. Jay says, for me, my side reel chart was more accurate. I'm going to look into that, and on our part two we can talk about what we found out about that. So Jay, thank you for bringing this to us because yeah, I will do my research because I don't want to talk on something I don't know about. But yeah, but I will definitely get back with you on that.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I know that yeah they want to add in more zodiac signs and names. Yeah. No, that's good though. I like that. I like anybody. I like my friends. my audience to bring me new information, challenge my mind. Like I love that stuff. I love intellectualism. So yeah, let me show y'all this site real quick. Um, this is my website right now. You can call 313-327-9342 to place an order. And if you are in the Atlanta area, I'm delivering. So just call that number in order. It's called Astro Aromatics. We use natural oils, sage, and other aromatic mediums. We strive to enhance the physical, spiritual, and mental health of light beings. All products are organic and homemade. If you are in the Atlanta area, like I just said, we hand deliver and no contact deliver products straight to your door. You can request a product. And yeah. And I just wanted to show y'all. This is one of the products that we've recently sold. I'm just going to read the description. A satisfied customer showing off his Dragon's Blood Yellow Rose Sage sold by us. Dragon's Blood Sage is white sage dipped in a special resin that kills pathogens like bacteria and viruses and also helps with respiratory problems. Wink, wink. If y'all don't know why I'm winking, then you ain't thinking. Dragon's Blood Sage is also good for cleansing energies and returning lost love. The yellow rose adds a floral flair and added love energy to the potent bundle. Dragon's Blood with yellow rose cost only $8. Inbox me or call, like I said, 313-327-9342 to place your order today. But we have several other types of sage, okay? We have regular Dragon's Blood sage that only cost $8. I mean, not $8. I'm sorry. We have other sages that just cost $6. Like we got we got regular Dragon's Blood sage that only cost $6. We have black sage that only cost $6, but the special ones are the $8 ones. We just got some lavender and rosemary bundles, so y'all might want to check that out. Like that, yeah. And then our roll-ons are only $5, and we use essential oil base. We do not water our scents down. We don't do that. Like we our stuff is 24 hours guaranteed. Yeah. So right. Yeah, big Scorpio energy over here, old Deuce, because I'm a Scorpio. Yeah, gang. But KENSHON, is there anything you would like to say?
I just feeling all this great energy in this video tonight. In this presentation, I feel grateful to bring the knowledge out here to people. And also, I want to reiterate that if you research Hiram E. Butler and his published book on solar biology with all the contents within, you can find that online, and you'll be able to confirm. I was able to break most of it down in an introduction part. So I was able to help some of us who are still in astrology, help you to understand the beginning of what astrology is now was solar biology. And so now we have to attach the known planets that are in your houses as you go around your chart. So we're changing the way we look at astrology. It's solar biology. And we're changing the way we're not just listening to one aspect of what's in your sun sign. We're looking at all the planet aspects, and which is engraving in us the mastering of this present life and the completion of our task, which is to do well by the universe.
And that's facts. And that's the great thing about information and knowledge, is that the more you know, the more you find out that you actually don't know nothing at all. So I'm going to end this with love and light, like always. KENSHON, thank you for gracing. Thank you for, ascending this channel. I almost said blessed, but we're going to stop saying that word. Thank you for ascending this channel tonight, giving the people what they asked for, which is brand new information. You killed it tonight, and I really, really appreciate your energy, and I cannot wait for the next one. Y'all, please follow my boy KENSHON on his IG, and we about to get it. Y'all know how we always end it with love and light, so I'm going to play a shout out Lily. Shout out everybody in the chat. Shout out everybody who called. Shout out like people who like first time watchers. Like I appreciate it. I've seen some new names. I had new caller come in. I never seen her before. So thank you. Just please make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Push this out here. Hit that notification bell because this is the Who Actually Podcast, man. You got to. That's right. So, I'm gonna end this with some fire music. King Cash has been dropping. You know, we mess with him. We rock with him heavy on this channel. So I'm gonna play y'all his newest hit, his newest drop. Make sure y'all go into his comments and let him know where you heard it first. This is the Who Actually Podcast. Peace.
Keep that shit low key,
King. It was $20 swishes, now it's $100 woods. Ran up 6 bands, ripping, running around the hood. Sell balls and hair impression, bust jugs and Hillman Lane. Get flicked, don't say a thing, solo, don't tell a name. No bag, put the weed in the Newport cellophane. Cali plug just texted that new batch, hella flame. Really glue in the air, nigga, I can smell a lane. AR, I let it bang, 100 shots, I never aim.
Niggas say they want beef, we can get it cracking. Ride with a mini Draco, I ain't never lacking. Got a couple spots on the east, and you know they slapping. Born with a bag in my hand, so I'm really trapping. Niggas say they won't smoke with me, but I'm about that action. Made nigga from the state streets, boy, you know what's happening. Got the bricks, but the pandemic got a nigga taxed. I'm the only nigga from the east that made it happen.
A lot of ethnic mans and a lot of K's. A Nicky in the track, think I'm Lil Wayne. Feeling like I'm Pac, y'all some Lil Zanes. Cash just popped the perk, say he ain't feel no pain. I just popped his head cause I just popped a nigga. They been hated since I started, still ain't stopped a nigga. He been a shooter for a decade, still ain't dropped a nigga.
And I been getting money, feeling envy from a lot of niggas.
You gotta watch these niggas.
Don't got the chop, I got the Glock for niggas. And I ain't got a drop for bitches, it's God my witness. If it ain't got to do with cash, I just mind my business. I'm a feature every 3 months to remind these niggas.
Sometimes I think to myself, who the fuck is these niggas? I ain't worried about them, I be fucking they bitches. I ain't good, you can ask about a nigga in the trench. Everything a nigga rap about, boy, you know I'm living.
I ain't made no money in an hour, that shit got me stressed. I ain't giving niggas no more passes, punch him in his chest. I can't quit popping all these pills, I guess I'm depressed. But your bitch make me happy when she give me neck. Bad bitch from the Jets, met her at the vets. That she can get the package in, she work at UPS.
We just getting money, we don't argue about who the best. Ride with an F and N, rip it through your vest. I'm a real killer, poke your ass, leave a nigga stretch. I'm the type of nigga to take the bag and make it stretch. I'm a real nigga, it ain't too many left. Came from the gutter, got goons who caught up niggas straight.
Hey, you will never catch me turned down, all I know is yes. Randy Savage with a bag in, all I know is flex. Little bro teach aerobics class, he'll get you stretched. Rip K Trip just poured a pint of green at the set.
Yeah, because things are just popping right now. Things are starting to cultivate. Things are starting to grow. Things are getting real cool.
Look at that roll.
Just like the Silver Cloud Rolls Royce.
I'm very
top
serious.
of the line.